good morning. I'm glad to welcome you into God's house on another great day to come together and to study, to understand better how to live as God's children, and understand better how to represent God in the world around us and how to touch the world in our lives. This week we want to look at some scripture from the Gospel of Matthew again, this time from the 9th chapter, verses 35 through 38. And Jesus is talking to the disciples about how they're going to represent them and trying to talk about how to touch the world around them. And he's emphasizing in this portion of Scripture the need for people to go out and touch the world around them, because as he says in our Scripture this morning, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And so I want to think about that this morning and think about a story that I read this week by a man by the name of Patrick Green. You know, a lot of people have their resident drunks, but Henderson County, Texas had their resident atheist, and Patrick Green was the resident atheist for that county. Every year, without fail, he threatened to sue the county because they were putting a manger scene down at the courthouse. And he said, you know, why should I allow you to put that out on display when nobody has ever done anything for me in the church that would make a difference in my life? So why should I allow you to go out there and put stuff and infringe on my rights, not to have to pay attention to religion and all those kind of things? And you know, I guess that a lot of people in the world feel that way today, that the church does not represent them, and that they have no need for the church, I suppose. But you know, Patrick Green felt that way until he had an accident. And in that accident, he detached the retina in his right eye. And his job was to drive the local yellow cab. That's where he made his living. And when he had the accident and he detached his retina, he couldn't drive anymore. So his livelihood was threatened. And not only that, he damaged it to the point that he could have been permanently blind. Well, one of the members of the Sand Springs Baptist Church there in Henderson County heard about his situation, and she wanted to do something about it, and she went to the only place that she knew to go, and that was her church and her pastor. And she told him about what was going on in Green's life and what had happened, and she said, "Would you go check on him and see what we can do for them?" And so he did. He went to visit Green, and he said, "You know, okay, how can the church help you?" And he said, "Well, you never done anything for me before, so why are you worried about me now?" And the preacher said, "Well, you know, we didn't know what you needed before, and so I've come to find out what it is you need." And he said, "Well, what I really need is somebody to help me with my rent and some bills that I've got, and my utilities, and some food. That's what I really need. If you want to help me, then you can do that." And so the preacher said, "Well, okay, I'll see what I can do." And the preacher left. Green looked over his wife and said, "That's the last time we'll see him. Man, he ain't gonna come back." Well, you know how those church people are. Well, to his surprise, that afternoon, somebody came with a $400 check. And he said, "I was so flabbergasted I almost fell out. I couldn't believe that they came and brought me that money." And so he said, "Well, I took the money and I paid my rent and I paid my utility bill, and we got some groceries for the house." He said, it was really nice. But the thing that really flabbergasted me was the next day they brought another check for some more money, and 2 or 3 more times that week. They brought me things and helped us in our time. He said, "I never experienced that in my life from a church." He said, "You know, I was so surprised, I think I'm going to write a book And I want to entitle that book, The Real Christians of Henderson County, Texas. He said those folks act like and do what the Bible says a Christian is supposed to do in their lives. So he said, maybe I need to change my outlook on the church and perhaps my outlook on God and what is going on there. And so they continued to help him throughout the year. And as he got better and was able to go back to work, then they still kept up with him. They didn't give him any more money. But Christmas time came, and Patrick said, well, you know what? Y'all was so good to me, I want to buy a new star to go over the manger scene this Christmas. And so he bought him a new star. And he never asked him again about that, and threatened to sue again the county for putting that manger scene out there. Now, there are a lot of people in the world who have had that experience with the church or with the people of the church in that time. I pray that we would never have that here at Watoola. Although I guess if we were honest with ourselves, we probably have missed some people sometime, and we haven't done the things that we could have done for them. But it wasn't because we didn't care about them. Most of the time, churches don't miss things because they don't care. Most of the time, they miss things because they're trying to be the church. You know, we look at the world and we see what the successful churches are doing, the programs they've got, all the things that are going on in their ministry, and we think, well, that's what we ought to do. And so many times, smaller churches like us are so busy trying to be like the bigger churches that we miss our opportunity. I was talking to Brendan and I said, you know, it's like we are so busy sometimes trying to be what other churches are that we forget why God put us at the corner of County Road 38 and 100. He put us here for a reason, and that is to reach out and touch the world around us. And that's what Jesus is talking about in this lesson this morning. Reaching out and touching the world in which you have been placed. So I want to think about it. Let's read right quick the short verses that we have, and then think for just a few minutes about what Jesus is saying. Matthew says, Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his field. There we end the reading of our lesson. Ask that God would grant us understanding for how to live that out in our life, that we can reach the world around us. Now, let me just share 2, 3, or 4 things with you in that time. And the first thing is this, that sometimes we can be condemning of people. We can look down on them and think, well, I do better than they do sometimes. And that is communicated to people, and people say, well, I don't want to be involved with that church. It's kind of like Nancy Ortberg. Nancy Ortberg is the wife of John Ortberg, who's a pastor of a major church, and he's written many, many books and very successful in their ministry. And she was telling a story about one week that it was an exceedingly busy week, and Wednesday was coming up, and they had a lot to do, and the day was getting long. And she said to John, why don't we go out and eat tonight? Why don't we go to the IHOP just down from the church here and eat? And so they did, and they went because they enjoyed the food, and it was a pretty good price, and it was close to the church, and it was quiet most of the time, and they wanted to have some quiet with their 3 children. And so they went in and sat down and they ordered, and just before their food came, the hostess seated some folks at the table next to him. It was a mother and 3 little children, and Nancy looked at him when they were sitting down. She said, "I guess that goes our piece tonight. They're gonna raise Cain," and they did. The mother just didn't have any control over them whatsoever. They were loud, they were boisterous, they would jump up and down, they were doing everything else, just disturbing Nancy and making her even more frustrated about life than she already was, as she was tired. They finished eating as quick as they could, and John got up and went on to the church with 2 of the children, but Mallory, the middle girl, stayed with her to pay the bill. And she was mumbling to herself as they went over to the counter about how that they had ruined their dinner, and how that they should have stayed somewhere else, and like we do sometimes. And Mallory said to her, "Mom, that lady needs some help. I mean, she's got 3 little children, and she can't control all the things that they're doing. Mom, why don't we help her a little bit? Why don't tonight we pay for their dinner?" And Nancy looked at her like she was from somewhere else, and she said, "Oh, okay." And so they paid the dinner bill for that little group. And as they went out the door, Mallory said, "I'm so glad that we helped her out. I'm so glad that we cared about her, that she could have a little peace and a little help in her life today." Now that's what Jesus does for us. Jesus pays attention to what is going on in our life. Jesus hears what we are going through in our life. And rather than condemning us and saying things about us, Jesus said, "I understand that they need some help. I understand that they are in over their head in the things that they can do in their lives." And so Jesus has compassion for us and cares for us. He says in here that Jesus had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. Sheep without a shepherd. Sometimes we feel like we are sheep without a shepherd, don't we? We feel like we don't have anybody to care for us and to take care of us in those things that we are doing in our lives. But Jesus said, I have compassion on folks, and if you're my follower, then you're going to do the same thing. He said, "Pray that their Father will send, the Lord of the harvest will send out workers into his harvest field." So that's what we're to do. We're to be workers in the harvest field. We're to reach people's lives and the things that we're doing. I was fascinated by a sermon that King Duncan wrote. It's been several years ago now, entitled "It's Hard to Be an Atheist with Neighbors Like That." You kind of wonder what the sermon is about, but it's neat. And he writes in that sermon, he says this. He says, "We are not a business enterprise. Our motive is not to have the most impressive bottom line. Our goal is not to enhance our institutional pride. Our aim is not to be the biggest and the best church in town." He says, "We are called to go out into the world, and because there are people outside the walls of this church who are confused, angry, hurting, and dying. There are families disintegrating, young minds being destroyed by drugs, old folks who feel forgotten. There are people outside the building who need our help. Yes, we're to bring them to Jesus." But I love this statement. But first of all, we are to make Jesus real to them by showing them his love. Isn't that neat? Yeah, we're to bring people to Jesus, but we are to show them what Jesus is like by showing them his love through our actions and through the things that we're doing in our life. It's a simple thing, isn't it? To show people The love that Christ exhibits through the things that we do. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? Sounds so easy, but it's hard to do that sometimes. And I was thinking about why is it that we don't do those things. And I think we don't do it because we don't see people. People are kind of invisible to us. We don't understand what's going on in their life. We don't see them in the light that they are being viewed by God. We don't understand that. I told some of you about Leo and his family, and the way he approaches life. Leo is a farmer that lives down in Shorter. Well, he lives over south of Tallahassee, and he comes to the farmers market up in Auburn during the season every year. We've been there since 2012, and he's been there every year since then. And Leo and his family, his wife Rosa, and they have two small children. They are the kind of people that I think God must smile every time he sees them. Because generally at the farmer's market, there would be 20 to 30 vendors. And Leo and his family and his wife Rosa would give every week as much as the other 20 to 25 or 26 vendors that were at the market. He gave more than what everybody put together gave every week. And not only did he do that every week, but in 2012, which is the first year we saw him, we tallied it up at the end of the year, and Leo and his wife and his children gave almost twice as much as everyone else that came to the farmer's market combined. That's a remarkable gift, isn't it? To give more than 20 or 25 or 30 people would give just out of your little meager things. But the neat thing about it is this. Leo probably sold more stuff than anybody else in that market. Some people would come and sit and be the whole time and never sell one thing. Some would sell a few. But Leo sold virtually everything he had every week. And so one day in 2013, about August or thereabouts, we were helping them. They were generally the last people to leave. They made sure they saw every customer who came. And Brenda and I would stay and help them pack up and go home. And I said to Leo one day, Leo, Brenda and I have been watching y'all, and ever since we've been here, you and Rosa and your family have given more than everybody else put together. Why in the world do you do that? And Leo's a hefty, strong, middle-aged man and a Hispanic man. And he turned his back on me. He didn't say anything for a couple of minutes. And then he turned back around after he took a deep breath. And he said to me, Gary, he said, you know, Rosa and I were hungry at one time, and somebody helped us. And when you've been hungry, and you know what it's like to be hungry, and somebody helps you, you can't help but be hungry. You can't help but help them and take care of them in that time. And the good thing about it, he said, is this. We didn't lose anything. We still sell everything we get, everything we take. And we still are able to make money and feed people who are hungry. He said, you know, if you know what it's like to suffer like they suffer, you won't let them go by themselves. You'll take care of them. And I thought, how in the world, what could be more true than that? When you know what it's like to be hungry, you want to feed those folks who are hungry. Jesus knew what it was like for those people, for them to hurt and for them to struggle in their lives. He didn't condemn them. He didn't say, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or you should have taken this, or you should have taken that, or you should have given this. He said, let me help you with what you got. Let me help you with your needs in your life. You know, a lot of people are like Patrick Green. They haven't experienced that love that God sends through the church. You know, I hope this week that you and I, as we see people around us, will see what's going on in their life, and we'll understand the needs of their life. And rather than condemning them for what they haven't done, let's help them for what they need in their lives. And like Leo, we'll be blessed. We'll be blessed. We'll be able to have all those things that we need. As Leo said, he was able to make money to help support his family, but he was still able to give the things that would help other people who are hungry. So I hope this week we will take that attitude toward the world around us. There will be workers going into the harvest field, because the harvest is white and the work is plenteous, but there are very few people who want to go and do that work. I hope that this week you'll pray for me and I'll pray for you, and we'll be those representatives to reach the people in the world around us and touch their lives. Let's pray. Well, I'm so grateful for today. I'm grateful for your presence and our midst, O Lord, and the things that we're doing, the persons we are, the life we're living, the action we're taking. Lord, I just thank you for how much you cared for us in Jesus, and how much we can care for others in Jesus. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for providing for us, O Lord, as Leo said you provide for him when we make a difference in somebody's life. I give you praise, Father, for all these things now, and I ask them in Jesus' name, and for our sake, O Lord. Amen. Well, I hope you're going to have a great week. I know God's got something good for us to do this week, and something that we can take care of other people around us. If we'll just allow God to use us to be his workers in the harvest field that are white for the harvest. God bless you. Have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful week.